I think a lot of people have seen my video that I did just a few days ago on this. If you haven't, let me pull up the title just so you can be aware of the name of it, and I'll put a link to it in the show description. It's called Pastor Steven Anderson involuntarily committed to psych ward question mark. And I cover who Pastor Steven Anderson is, a lot of the controversial aspects surrounding him, not only in the past but also presently, and touched on the situation with him being involuntarily admitted to a psych ward. And we were kind of left on a cliffhanger with that show, wanting to see, okay, well, what does Anderson say about this situation? I mean, he seems to have admitted on Facebook in a post that he immediately took down, but he admitted on there he was involuntarily committed to a psych ward, but did not indicate why, what happened. People were speculating, is this related to the situation with his children? 3 of his children have come out saying that he has been incredibly abusive to them and their mother for a very, very long time. They're all coming out with the same stories. So, there was some speculation, is this related to that? Well, he has now come out, preached a whole 2-hour sermon, kind of giving his side of the story. We're going to watch just a highlight clip of this. Perhaps I'll put a link to the full thing on Facebook if you want to see the whole thing. But I think you'll get the gist of his side of the story for what happened that I think you might find interesting. He's saying that there was a guy who basically set him up, who tried to do this anonymously to sabotage him. But now he knows who it was. He's getting the paperwork from the court, and he's saying what the guy did was illegal. So sounds like he might be, intending to pursue charges against him in the future, since he's getting all that information, he said, from the courthouse. So, okay, let's go ahead and watch maybe just a highlight clip of his sermon where he gives his side of the story and just kind of talks a little bit about what his time was like in the psych ward, which sounds like it was a wild experience. Let me also, again, make sure that you can hear the audio. Let me turn the audio on so that you can hear it. All right, let's go ahead and dive in.
Why are you trying to kill me?
I'm not.
Why do you? So who's trying to kill me?
I don't know.
Someone here wants to kill me. Who is it? Tell me who it is. But on Tuesday morning, I was just sitting in my room, minding my own business, reading Mark chapter 5 of all chapters in my Catalan New Testament, and the police came and took me to a mental institution against my will and checked me in there. The cops, when they picked me up at my house, they acted like I was just going to go see a doctor and then everything was going to be fine. But no, I get there and they check me into a mental institution for 72 hours. But I was told that I would see a doctor every 24 hours that could potentially discharge me. And I did end up getting out of there in a little less than 24 hours. The place was horrific. It was straight evil. But I will get to that later in the sermon. Why did this happen? Because that effeminate piece of crap, Lionel Caros, decided to fill out some document and lie and commit felony perjury. And he thought that he was going to be able to do it anonymously and we wouldn't know who it was. Well, guess what? We do know who it was. And we're getting those documents from the courthouse. And what he did is a felony. But I digress.
I don't know what's going on there. Why this guy did this. From what I've seen, I should rephrase that. I haven't really seen anything from him explaining why this happened. If y'all have more information on why he had him committed, let me know. We did look into the rules and it indicated that the guy would have to show justifiable reason. You can't just willy-nilly have somebody admitted. You have to show justifiable reason. So what were the grounds for this? Those are the questions that I want to know, because, hey, there's always two sides to every story. You're hearing Anderson's side. Maybe this other guy has some very serious reasons for why he had him involuntarily committed.
Turn, if you would, to Mark chapter 3. Let me give you some people in the Bible who were accused of being insane. So it turns out I'm not alone as a Bible preacher being accused of being crazy or being accused of being insane. The reason that I didn't come back to church, the reason I didn't come to church on Wednesday night, even though I was released on Wednesday afternoon, is because I was just so mad. I was so angry. I was in no condition to preach. It would not have been the right kind of a sermon. And I think it was just God's will that Brother Segura preached anyway, because he preached such a phenomenal sermon. But I'll try my best.
That guy that he just mentioned is the one who was attacking Anderson's own son in that message. And Anderson praises the sermon attacking his own son. That's really weird.
This morning to describe it. Basically, it was a room that was approximately 50 feet by 60 feet. So it wasn't that big. And I counted 50 lunatics that I was in there with. So I was in one room with 50 crazy people and one normal guy, and 10 or maybe 8 or 10 staff members at any given time, all in one room, jammed into this room. The room's full of chairs, 50 crazy people, myself, one other normal dude, and about 8 staff members at any given time. I mean, there were some messed up gangbanger, drug addict types there that said, quote, "I should have stayed in prison. This is the most effed up place I've ever been. It's like a concentration camp for crazies." Others compared it to a haunted house due to the fact that there was just continual hellish screams going on the whole time. Okay, so I got to just show you some of the things that I experienced while I was in there. Okay, so this guy, come on up here. This guy walks up to me, and first he just starts asking me normal questions, but he got about this far from my face. Okay, so I'm standing there. The guy walks up to me and basically says, like, "What's your name?" Just answer me like with your answers. Like, what's your name?
Corbin,
Where are you from?
Michigan.
What do you do?
Even for demonstration purposes, this is way too close.
Conditioning.
Why do you want to shoot me?
I-
Why are you trying to kill me?
I'm not.
Why do you? So who's trying to kill me?
I don't know.
Someone here wants to kill me. Who is it? Tell me who it is.
I have
What?
no idea.
All right, you can go ahead and say. I'm gonna need you again though. I hope you know what you're getting into. So have a seat, because it's gonna get a lot weirder. But this
Oh.
woman would go from just cheerfully walking around, you know, doing all this stuff and whatever, and then she would just go into these rants that would just go on for hours, literally hours. And I mean, it doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m, 4 a.m, just any time of day. She just go into just these insane rants, and I can't really even impersonate it, because like I can't even talk that fast, because these crazy people, they talk just like a machine gun, just nonstop for hours and hours, and then they just like pass out. But then as soon as they pass,
That has to be something that would drive you crazy. I kind of feel like if you're admitted into these places and you're not crazy, you'll soon become crazy by being exposed to all that. So it's just like there's no way around it. You know, you're either crazy when you go in there, or you're crazy while you're in there.
that's how like someone else takes a shift. So there's no rest day or night, because as soon as one person conks out and she's just like asleep, then some other woman is doing the exact same, acting the same way. So I don't know if it's just like this same demon just keeps switching bodies, just playing musical lunatics.
By the way, he did say in the rest of the sermon that he doesn't believe that it's like everybody who is in these institutions are somehow demonically possessed. He recognizes there are instances where there's just mental illness or there's an effect from a drug. So he recognizes not all of these people can be said to be demonically possessed, although he does appear to believe that some of them were.
Or else, if it's just all these people have the same drug, they all took the same drug, or they have the same problem or something. But I'm telling you, they would just go until they wore themselves out, and then they would just pass out. Like, I'm not gonna lie, a small percentage of it was funny and entertaining, like this much. Okay, but that's because we're talking about this for like 10 minutes right now. Okay, go there for 24 hours, and first of all, most of it's not funny at all. And after 24 hours, none of this is funny. Okay, after 24 hours.
I can see that. Yeah.
Worst part, the vast majority of it was horrible. This is the worst part was that when I tried to get some sleep at night, which was a fool's errand. I think I might have slept for 15 minutes because I dozed off one time, and it was for sure less than 20 minutes. So it was sometime, I slept for some amount between 1 and 20 minutes. I don't know what the length was the whole night. So I'm just super tired, and I'm kind of one of those people that needs my sleep. You know what I mean? And so I just have no sleep. I'm just up all night, and I'm sitting in a chair, and there's a guy sitting 4 feet from me, and I couldn't move because all the chairs are occupied. So it's like, that's my chair.
So like you don't have your own room where you would sleep at night? You have to sit in a chair? That's weird.
And this guy, I kid you not, the entire night, all night long, is just cackling in my ear and just saying just insane things, perverted things, blasphemous things. Just imagine you're just listening to Charles Manson all night. Just if you want to know what this is like, go in a room, turn all the lights on, and put on headphones of Charles Manson interviews and just turn them up and just lay there and just do that.
Well, you know, I don't know if you've ever listened to a Charles Manson interview, but they are pretty wild. So I get the point that he's making here.
For a while, and I'm just listening, just I mean, I'm just spending the night with Legion, talking to me all night, just saying. And look, my friend, I'm sorry, it's torture. It is torture to have an insane person talking in your ear all night. You're trying to sleep, you're exhausted, and you just have a literal crazy person talking in your ear the whole night.
That sounds like Chinese torture, you know, where they put, you know, one drop of water on your forehead and it drips down and then another drop and continue to do that for hours. That's what that sounds like to me.
You know, I want people to understand the kind of crap that I'm going through right now. You know, because it's so easy for all the little whiners and all the little snivelers and all the little babies and all the fake behavior and pick apart. I just don't think that Pastor Anderson's handling this the right way. This is the kind of crap that I'm dealing with. And leading up to this, the cops were at my house every day, virtually for 2 weeks. Sometimes they would come 2 times a day, 3 times a day. And by the way, when the police came and picked me up, they're apologizing.
Why? What led to this? Is it the situation with his children coming out in multiple videos talking about how horrible the physical abuse was? I suspect that's what it is.
They're like, we're so sorry. We know what's going on. They all know. We know the entire precinct on a first name basis at this point, right? And they're just like, we're so sorry. We have to respond. Like, we know it's stupid. And even when they drop me off at the Nutt House, they're telling the staff, look, we've been to this guy's house every day for weeks. His wife is doing great. His kids are doing great. This is malicious. But it doesn't matter. They just check me in anyway. Oh, see the doctor in 12 hours. And then the doctor at 11 p.m. says, oh, well, yeah, clearly you're not crazy. And clearly this is a malicious thing. And she said, let me just call a few people, verify your story. She checks the story. Yep, your story checks out. You're being discharged at 11 p.m. Of course, did I get discharged at 11? No, I got to stay all night with Legion, all night with Charles Manson. And then I got to get out the next day around noon.
Well, I mean, that's sad to hear. Now, I'm not in any way saying that I don't believe what his children are saying, and I'm not even saying that the guy who committed him didn't have justifiable reason for it. I don't know what the situation is surrounding that because we haven't found out yet. So whatever the reason is, I'm not weighing in on that. Maybe it was legit, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just them harassing him. Maybe it's something else. But that's sad to hear that he went through that. You know, whether he deserves it or not, whether he belongs there or not, different question. I'm just touching on the question of, you know, can I sympathize with the guy for having been in that situation? Yeah. It sounds like it was a horrible time. Again, not weighing in on the question of whether or not he belongs there, but sounds like it was terrible. Absolutely horrible. So I bet he also saw some really disturbing things there. You know, I've heard of exorcists speak about how they've gone through psych wards and have encountered some people who it wasn't an issue of a mental disability that they were wrestling with, but it was clear that it was demonic in nature. And so it's a wild place to be. So sad to hear that. But I'm sure we'll find out more information about that situation. Hey, thanks for watching that highlight clip. If you want to watch the full video, click on the link in the show notes. By the way, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to support this channel, a great way to do it is patreon.com/Reason and Theology. You'll also get access to extra patron-only content. Check it out now, patreon.com/Reason and Theology. God bless.